warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I will explain the 5 ways of writing a narrative that is good and exciting and easily practiced. Beforehand, I will explain an understanding of the narrative. The narrative is one type of writing that describes an event sequentially over time. The narrative has as much plot or plot as any other literary work. Moreover, this type of writing also relates an event in which character and conflict are found. The narrative is divided into several camps, each of which has its own purpose. As for the types of narrative, they are as follows. The first, expositories narrative, is one type of narrative with the purpose of informing. Usually, this type of narrative is based on fact. The second, informative narrative. Informative narrative is a narrative that serves to share information based on fact. Generally, this type of narrative relates an event or event in a person's life. And the last one, artistic narrative. Artistic narrative is a type of narrative that contains a message or a commission. Usually, writers use this type of narrative to convey message in secret to the reader. 5. How to write a good, interesting narrative is this. The first, decide a point of view. Plan to relate a narrative paragraph from the perspective of the first person or third person. You could use me, him, or them as the subject of narrative. The second, use a consistent form of time when writing the narrative. Make sure you only use one form of tense consistently along the paragraph and avoid changing the tense. Exceptions may apply if you move away from present, present tense and present events. The third, make an interesting topic. Look up topics that may arouse curiosity in the reader. This is necessary in order for the reader to continue to read your text to the end. 4. So the main character. Introduce all the key characters in the story so that the reader can understand your narrative more clearly. So, show some of the characters you think are having a powerful role in the narrative. 5. Determine the atmosphere of the story. Provide a setting for the story you want to tell and then direct the reader to the time it happened. This is to help them place themselves as storytellers and understand his thought for every second in the story. Okay, now let me give you one sample of the narrative called Fox and Cat. One day, a cat and a fox were having a conversation. The fox, who was a conscious creature, boasted on how clever she was. Why, I know at least 100 tricks to get away from our mutual enemies, the dog, he sighed. I know only one trick to get away from dogs, said the cat. You shall teach me some of yours. Well, maybe someday, when I have the time, I may teach you a few of the simpler ones, replied the fox early. Just then they heard the barking of a pack of dogs in the distance. The barking grew louder and louder. The dogs were coming in their direction. At once the cat ran to the nearest tree and climbed into its branches, well out of reach of any dog. "This is the trick I told you about, the only one I know," said the cat. "Which one of your 100 tricks are you going to use?" The fox sat silently under the tree, wondering which trick she should use before she could make up her mind. The dogs arrived. They fell upon the fox and tore her to pieces. Moral: a single plan that works is better than 100 doubtful plans. This is all I can say about the 5 ways of writing narrative that is good and exciting and easily practiced. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.